Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Gabbing About Stories. I'm Kitty Bucholtz, author, book coach, podcaster, and newly crazy woman in menopause. My co host is the fabulous and funny Jill Bandemer, casting director and writer in Los Angeles, and a self proclaimed quirky single gal living her best blissfully clueless life. Hey, Jill.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired, which is a good kind of tired. Today, for the first time in months, maybe a couple of years, I was relaxing with a book. It was 3:30 in
Cool.
the afternoon, and in Sweden, the sun went down at 3:53. So it was almost sundown. It was dark out already because we had a little bit of snow. And I was reading the book that John gave me for Christmas, which actually is sitting right here because I was reading it before we got on. So he bought me
Mhm.
Stephen King's Never Flinch. Ooh, very,
Ooh.
very, it's part of, it's not a series, but there's a whole bunch of books that have a lot of the same characters. And this character, Holly Gibney, we can talk more about characters later, but I was reading and I must have read the same half a page like 15 times because I kept falling asleep. And I was totally cool with it. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been this relaxed to just like read a book and fall asleep and be happy about it and just it just felt like a rainy Sunday afternoon in Michigan, only it was a cold snowy afternoon in Sweden.
That is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Just to
Right?
kind of, just maybe, just to take some time, just to
Yeah.
relax and take some time because the world can be so crazy and the hustle and the bustle, and you always feel like you gotta do. But it's kind of
Yeah.
nice to like put yourself there and just go, let's just rest. Let's just
Yeah.
and not feel bad about it. Like I
Right.
mean, right? Like I grew up, we're from the Midwest. I grew up on a farm. And at least say back in the day, when you're in a farming community, my mom, God love her, she'd just be like, if you're just sitting there, she's like, go do some work. Like, I mean, I was, excuse me, I was probably like 5 years old, and they would have me out picking rocks. I mean, when you're five, I actually liked it. I enjoyed that. But looking back on that, I'm like, boy, that was child labor right there. But like picking weeds, going and picking rocks and stuff. But their feeling was, and I need to reverse this in my mind. Don't just sit and read a book, go do some work, like physical, because it's farmers, you do physical work. But like
Yeah.
reading a book, it's so good for your mind. I
Yeah.
work in TV. I love TV. Thank God in our household we had TV. And
Yeah.
that was kind of like, okay, just sit and relax or just be quiet and watch TV. I love TV. Love, love, love.
Yeah.
But I feel
Yeah.
like doing those things, it's just like we mentally, everybody, you need to do what's good for you. I really, really
Yeah.
do. I think that's like we were talking about, it's 2026. Do things that are good for you. Sometimes you have to be selfish for yourself, like to look out for yourself because you put your
Yeah.
everything else before yourself, and you have to
Yeah.
be kind of selfish and enjoy it and enjoy it.
Yeah. And that is pretty much my entire day today. Like we decided to go for a walk about 7:45 this morning because we have been really enjoying all the cooking and baking that we've been doing. John cooks and I bake,
Ooh.
and I made this amazing, I wonder if I can bring up the picture on my phone. I made this amazing batch of cinnamon rolls on Sunday,
Ooh.
and they turned out perfect, like literally perfect. Let's see if I can show you.
Oh, yum.
Oh, and that's
Oh
before the
my God.
frosting. Yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
they're so good. So
Yum.
we've been eating and drinking, and we started, I don't know, maybe it was the summer. We were someplace. Oh yeah, so when we went to Paris Disney for our 35th anniversary in 2025, so 6 months ago, some place was selling Lynchburg lemonades, and we were both like, "Oh man, it's been like years and years since we had a Lynchburg lemonade," but I remember liking them. And then I looked at the price; it was like $18, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
it's our anniversary. I'm totally fine with spending $35 on two drinks for our anniversary.
Yeah.
Or, and John's like, or what? And I'm like, or we go home and we buy all the bottles of everything that we need. And then for $35, we'll have like
Yeah.
probably six drinks. And he's like,
Yes.
yeah, let's wait. Let's go home. And so we have been making Lynchburg lemonades like at least 3 or 4 times now in the last 7 months. They're so good.
Yum.
And
Oh
but
my.
there's a lot of sugar.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's
okay.
got the simple syrup, and
Yeah.
it's sour mix. So I told John, I said, this recipe says sugar and water for the simple syrup, and this recipe says, and now add lemon and lime. I'm like, why don't you just add the lemon and lime into the simple syrup? So now we
Yeah.
have like a sour mix, a homemade sour mix, and it's
Ooh.
so good.
Oh
So
my.
yeah, yeah, you have to come over.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
fly right over.
fly over, bring your baggy clothes because you will be fatter
Yes.
when you leave.
Oh my gosh.
But so we've been eating and drinking, and I was like, okay, we have one more week of vacation. Yay, thank you, God. But like seriously, I need to move at least a little bit off the couch. So we went for a walk at 7:45 this morning, which was 45, yeah, 45 minutes before sunrise, because Sweden. So,
Ooh.
and then it started snowing. I'm like, this is the best day ever, and it's only like 8 o'clock in the morning.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. And then we watched. Okay, so here's the thing I had to tell you. John's been hearing people say, "Oh, The Pit with Noah Wyle, it's so good." And then I saw like a trailer or something. I'm like, "Oh, it's another, medical hospital show. Like I'm tired of them. There's so many."
That's
Yeah.
sometimes they can creep me out, just so you know. Like, I mean, I loved ER back in the day because I was drooling over George Clooney and all those, handsome men. But I
Yeah.
watched Grey's Anatomy. But sometimes I'm like, I just feel like it's almost too much for me. But I'll
Yeah.
let you continue and
Yeah.
tell me about this.
Yeah. Okay. So, we were big CSI fans when CSI first began,
Oh,
and we even
yes.
own a few seasons of it on DVD because we really liked it. And that was like using special effects to really do a bunch of like showing you things that you were like, "Whoa, that's amazing." Okay, but now special effects get better. It's the next century, literally, and there are so many times watching The Pit where John and I are like, la la la, or we're just looking up. I do not
Oh,
need to see this. And I keep telling myself, it's plastic, it's plastic, it's plastic. But they do such a good job of making all of the incisions and the pumping heart and the baby being born. I'm like, I do not need to see a baby being born, not even a plastic one. I like
oh
they
my,
showed it coming out. I'm like, okay, no, I
oh
don't
my
need that.
gosh.
But it's just a matter of, it's a hospital show. But what's so interesting about this show, and I suspect maybe it's why people have been talking about it a lot to the point where it's like word of mouth, which is now what I'm giving you, word of mouth, is that my memory watching many years of ER was that it was about life in a hospital, including the doctors and nurses and all their relationships with each other, which also included a lot of sex with different people and then changing partners. And after a while, I was like, I'm not interested in watching a show about people having sex. It's just not interesting to me. Like, that's not a story. And then Grey's
Yeah.
Anatomy, it just seemed kind of like a daytime or like a nighttime soap opera ish. Like, there was still a lot of angsty relationships and sex and different partners. And I was like, ugh, okay, it's not my thing. But The Pit, the thing I love about it, okay, and then the other thing about many of the hospital shows that I've seen or similar types of shows, even Scrubs, which is a total comedy, total sitcom, like the main head person is always kind of a big fat jerk. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, yeah.
they're
Yeah.
kind of a meanie. Yeah, and
Hmm.
you can't maybe a few people can go to them and kind of, get things done, but mostly it's a big fat jerk who is like, using it's like the Marine Corps way. I was in the Marines for 85 days. It's like the Marine Corps way of if I yell at you enough, like somehow you'll
Yeah.
magically do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, also not my thing. I don't like it watching shows about mean people being mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in The Pit, Noah Wiley, which again, I was like, Noah Wiley in another ER show? Like, he was great before, but why is he doing another one? No, this is so different. It's
Really?
different enough where I'm very happy. This is about, like, genuinely, I don't know, not to say, I'm just going to say it. It feels like when I'm watching it, it feels like I'm watching genuinely good people, genuinely trying to do their best, and they're making mistakes and they're messing up and people are dying and other people are living and they're having,
Mhm.
like friendship relationship issues and marital relationship issues. There's all these other issues also going on, and some people you like and some people you immediately hate, and then eventually by the end of the show, it's 15 episodes and it's
Oh,
like
okay.
15 hours in one day. So the entire season is one day on the day
Wow.
shift of an ER.
Oh my God.
Yeah, day shift, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh
it's a
my
little bit like
God.
24 in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to check it out because last night was the Critics' Choice Awards
Oh,
here in Los Angeles, and Noah Wyle won for Best Actor. The
best
nurse, the
nurse.
blonde nurse, I don't know her actual
Oh,
name
yeah,
in real life.
yeah.
She's married to Grant Show because he was on Melrose Place, but she won for, I think it was Best Supporting Actress, but she won an award as well. And I think
Oh, good.
the show itself won for Best Drama.
Oh,
I guess it was drama, it wouldn't be comedy, but it won for
good.
Best Drama too. And I kept sitting there going, why is this show so special? Like
It's
for me, I do like,
amazing.
right? Like I love watching these award shows because it inspires me to say, I better maybe watch this show. So
Yeah.
now I see why. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Because
Wow.
so Noah Wiley plays, like the head of the department. So you think, oh, he's going to be a big
Mm.
jerk. It's a teaching hospital. He actually plays this character. Sorry, let me just say that because it doesn't matter. The character is genuinely trying to help other doctors learn how to be better doctors. Like,
Oh,
and during he's having a very bad day. So yes, he is yelling at people, but then other people are like, "What's wrong with him? What's wrong with Dr. Robbie?" Because he usually is not the guy who's yelling. Is
oh,
you start getting, all these impressions episode after
yeah.
episode, which is only hour after hour on the same day. And it's so like I'm plus the other thing I said to John is I said, this is so interesting. I cannot stop watching this show, but it's not because there's so much going on and I need to know and I have like this adrenaline rush and I need the next hit of adrenaline or dopamine or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like that because I felt like that with ER. Like there was always
Yeah.
so much happening and this
Yeah.
show does have a lot happening, but it just feels like I am so emotionally invested in these characters that whether they're
Wow.
working really hard and fast or they've slowed down a little bit and now they're dealing with some other thing in their life or whatever, I need to know, like, are they going to be okay? Is this girl going to
Yeah.
be a total witch forever? Is this kid going to end up quitting because he can't handle the stress? Like there's all these things that I need to know what happens with these people. I really like them and want them to do well and I want the day to be okay for them and yeah, I was totally emotionally connected to them.
Wow. No wonder it's interesting because on the award show last night on the Critics' Choice Awards, both Noah Wyle and then again, I'm sorry, I don't know the gal's name that plays the blonde nurse, but they thanked, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? They thanked all our medical, the medical, what's
Right.
the term? The not essential worker. Well, they are essential workers. The essential workers,
Yeah, the
I,
medical workers.
yeah, the
I
medical workers. They thanked
Yeah.
all the medical workers out there. And it just makes you realize because I know I had been hearing this from some people that I know that work as, nurses, nurse practitioners, doctors, but, this in particular talking about how difficult it is. And goes back to this is before COVID, actually. Yes, I met a gal through Bible study, and
Mhm.
she's a happy-go-lucky, but she started talking about just how it's just difficult to work in the medical industry these days. And like, I have not seen the show, but I think they showed a scene where she gets punched in the face. I don't know if you saw that episode, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and that's what I remembered hearing from my friend was just how they have to have security and people can get so basically almost like violent and irritated with them and then they're dealing with the system, the medical system and healthcare system and stuff here. So
Yeah.
wow, okay, I will have to watch that show. I will,
It is
because
so
you
good.
know because I always joke, like I work in entertainment and my big joke is, and that we have our stressful days, believe me, and where we have execs that oh, this may come as a surprise to people, but sometimes execs have these crazy, crazy, crazy ideas, and you're like, okay, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, basically. Like you're like,
Yeah.
okay, or finding the impossible, or well, why don't we do this? And it doesn't make sense. And then, long story short, eventually they start realizing, like, yeah, that probably wasn't a great idea. But I will always joke and go, you know what? You have to take a breath and go, I am not doing rocket scientist. I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not. Like, I can't even imagine, working in that industry
Yeah.
and dealing with what they see. So that
Yeah.
okay, I would watch that show because
Yeah.
to me, it's like because I just didn't want, I have to be honest with you, I didn't watch that show because I go, there's so much stuff going on in the news, and I watch a lot of news, and I go, I just can't be sitting in my home going,
Right.
stressed out
Stressed
about,
out.
yeah, because sometimes Grey's Anatomy, I'll just fast, but the beautiful thing is having the remote and I can fast forward through some of the stuff because I'm like, if it just bothers me, like when I go to a movie too, sometimes I'm like, I won't
Yeah.
subject myself to that because once you see something, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll venture and see the baby being born. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and also just to warn you and anybody who would appreciate a warning, that a few episodes near the end deal with a very traumatic event that if you've been involved in a shooting or if a
Oh,
mass shooting would trigger anything with you, like just warning you,
see,
it's a lot.
it's a lot. That is a
Yeah.
lot. But thank you for warning me on that. So, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's like because you and I like we connect because of stories. Like I think
Yes.
more and more it's about stories. And I think also watching the show last night, the award show last night, to me, I love TV and I feel like, I know whether it's streaming or I'm not a big fan. I really don't want people watching stuff on their phones. I just don't feel like you get the TV
Experience.
shows and films. Yeah, the experience. TV shows were made to be seen on the big screen of, your big TV, big screen TV, or movies, I still feel were meant to be seen in the movie theater as well. So I think it's just, for them to continue producing and making and also providing work to all the amazing people around the world that work in this business and want to
Yeah.
work in this business, I think like we need more great stories. And I have to say on that note, I I think you probably get this. Have you watched All Her Fault? All Her Fault. It's
No,
on
I feel like
Peacock.
I've
Here it's on
um
Peacock. It's Sarah
so
Snook is the lead character.
okay. So over here in Sweden, and so I'm sure in lots of other countries, um, those things get sent to the other territories via different channels. So
Oh,
Peacock for you might be, it might end up on Netflix over here, or it might end up on Amazon Prime, or it might end up on
oh,
something else. Yeah, like Hulu shows tend to end up on Netflix when they come over here, if they come over here.
interesting.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it is kind of weird, interesting, and then you'll be being what was it? I think it was so Marvel movies, of course, went to Disney Plus when Disney bought Marvel years ago, and then we started realizing I think DC comic book movies. I say that in case anybody who's like, what does she mean by DC? The DC
No,
comic book
yeah.
world, yeah. Those movies I think come here primarily or entirely through HBO. So if you don't have HBO, you can't
Wow.
watch whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, when somebody tells me about something, I'm like, okay, first of all, if it comes here, I just have to figure out where it's going to come in and whether or not I have. So tell me about it. You said All Her Fault.
All Her Fault. So Sarah Snook won for Best Actress in a Drama, and that takes place where it's your woman living on the East Coast, working in finance and stuff with her husband and her little boy, and she goes to pick up her little son from his play date, and the address she was given, she was like, "Oh, it's his little friend's home." The woman says, "There's no child here by that name," and it's an older woman, and her son has been kidnapped, and it is an unraveling. It is a story that like I did not see this story. It's good. It's really
Wow.
an excellent show because they kept advertising it, and I was just like, I do have Peacock. I seldom watch it, and I thought, well, I'll watch this, and it was one of those where I think I finished that. I just had to keep going. I had to keep going because every episode you get to the end and you're like, as this story starts to unravel, you're like, this is just unbelievable.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy story, but so crazy good story. So I highly recommend All Her Fault. It really is an awesome story that like not that I'm like the super intelligent person, but I kind of, sometimes I'll watch shows and I'll go, that was kind of lame, or oh, I saw that coming. Not this one, boy. Not this one at
Oh
all.
my.
Yeah, it was really it's an excellent All Her Fault is an excellent
Okay.
movie. So yeah, or movie. It's TV show. It seemed
TV.
like a movie, but TV show. Yeah. Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah. I
Okay.
also just saw Housemaid over the weekend. The
Okay.
Housemaid with Amanda Siegfried and oh gosh,
I
and
saw the book in the bookstore, but I haven't heard
oh,
about the
yeah.
movie.
Sydney Sweeney. So again, at least for me, it was another story, movie or another story where I was like, I did not see that coming. It is an amazing ending. Like it keeps you, because I think I looked on Rotten Tomatoes and it literally had you guessing till the end, like going till the end. And I go, this was really well done. Really well done
Wow.
movie. I can imagine the book probably is just as good because it was just like
Yeah.
one turn after the next. And you're like, what is going on here? But I was fully invested. Like, I was fully like, what in the world? And you see why the characters do what they do. And especially as it starts to unfold, especially if you feel like you're trapped. Like it's a situation where a female, like you just, as a female, you almost feel like you're stuck and you can't get out of it. And I have to tell you, it's like, I left there and I was like, there are some badass bitches out there. It was just like,
Wow.
oh my God. It's like, because that's the thing that, like, if you watch like 70s movies or 80s movies or even the songs from back then, and I love all the 70s, 80s songs,
Yeah.
but it's so giving in to like almost like being a weak woman and not a strong woman. Helen Reddy, I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, like that was great. That was a great song. But I forget, gosh, there's certain songs where you listen to or certain shows where you're like, oh, the damsel in distress, and there's a gun
Yeah.
there, but she's in the corner and she doesn't even attempt to pick up the gun. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's gone. Like these days, these modern movies and modern stories, I'm so impressed with where it's like, oh no, you're backed into a corner. You're a female, you're backed into a corner. You got to do something. It's
Yeah.
you, it's like do or die. And
Yeah.
it's just amazing also the intelligence of like how women figure out ways of doing things,
Yeah.
because again, it's kind of I better not say anymore because I really enjoyed that. Like you said, you saw that book at the store. I
Yeah.
can imagine the book is probably like a page turner, complete
Yeah.
page turner, because that's the way the movie was.
Wow. All right. Well,
Yeah.
now I wanted to
Yeah.
watch it and read it.
Yeah, it was excellent because it was so funny because it's over the holidays and I said to my friends Karen and Kathy, I was like, we wanted to see Song Song Blue. That was an excellent one too. It was based on a true story of Neil Diamond. They were like kind of like impersonators of his music and stuff like that. And that was really good. So you kind of knew like not that it's like it's a more of a feel good if you can kind of movie. But then with
Yeah.
this one, I was like, I kind of want to see this thriller. And my friends were like,
Yeah.
we do too. Like, because I was like, I didn't want to know. That's why I don't want to say too much about it, but I didn't know too much about it. And I was like, it's very good. It definitely kept you moving. Like last year, I feel like last year, this time, there's so many movies that came out that we would leave the theater going, we should have just left halfway through and had a margarita. Like
Oh,
they were just not good. I just
yeah.
felt like they were just not good. Like Baby Girl, Nicole Kidman's Baby Girl. I was like, no, 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 no.
Wow.
I did not enjoy that movie at all.
I have to admit, as you know, I grew up, our family owned a movie theater for a
Mm,
while. And so
yes.
movies were like regular life, and then moved to LA and worked in the film industry, film and television both. And so like going to the movies is it's my happy place. And also I just got used to kind of taking it for granted that I would always be able to go to the movies and see any movie I wanted. Um,
Oh.
and when I moved to Australia, the big movies came, and then there was Australian only movies that I got to see that other people didn't get to see because they were Australian movies. But then there was also movies that were hard for us to find. I feel like living in Sweden, it's even worse. Like the only
No.
feels like only the biggest
No.
movies with like the best distribution get here, and like I miss out on all these things that I hear you or other friends talking about this and that movie, and I'm like, I miss going to the movies like every single weekend, or being able to go to the matinee Tuesday morning, or for $6. We don't have matinee pricing here, so everything costs like 16, $17, and it doesn't matter what time of day you go, and you don't have nearly the choice we had in LA. So it's one of the only things that I
Oh,
really am like, oh, I miss that about LA.
I really have to remember that because it really is like, again, working and living here in LA, we keep telling people, please go to the movies, please go to the movies. Like every time I went to the movie theater this past weekend, I was happy when it was pretty much filled, pretty
Yeah,
much filled up to the point where we had to sit in the first few rows, and they recline these days. I'm like,
yeah,
these days, the recliners, they recline. So you're kind of like, it doesn't matter if you're that close. Because normally I'd be like, I don't want to be looking up that much. But now we're like back reclining and it's fine. But
yeah,
it is still such a treat to go to the movies. Like my girlfriend Kathy will always say, she's like, but myself too, growing up in the Midwest,
yeah,
if I did get to go to the movies, it was like you will not no popcorn, no drink, no nothing. That's it. Like
yeah,
just go.
yeah. Because that's how much it costs to like the movie ticket is the
Yeah.
thing that you're getting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But
also,
it's
I
a
mean,
treat.
when you and I were growing up, even if you would really have to have access and money and time, which I never had all three at the same time, because like we
Yeah.
would have to drive 40 minutes to get to a movie theater,
Yes.
and then also have the time to go and then not be tired and fall asleep, in the dark.
Exactly. Exactly. Like when I was growing up, we had a theater in my hometown, and I remember seeing Grease there. I forget what else. I know I saw Grease, and I can't remember the other movie. It would not have been Saturday Night Fever. My parents would not have let me see that when I was a kid. I don't know. I saw Grease there and I saw something else. But then again, because it was such a small town, the theater closed.
Right.
So then we had to drive, and then they just used it as like a theater for plays, which we never went to and stuff. But excuse me. But then, yes, you're right. We had to drive like a half hour to go see a movie, like in Hutchinson. So I grew up in Glencoe. We had to drive to Hutchinson, and no, I mean, I wasn't of driving age, so I never got to go. So that was a
Yeah.
huge deal to be able
Yeah.
to go to the theater, go to the theater,
Yeah.
go to the theater, go to the movie
Exactly.
theater. That was
Yeah.
a huge, and I loved it. Like I remember back in the day, like all the Disney movies, I think it was, this is still probably a lot of money for my parents back in the day, but it was like probably $5 to go see like a Disney movie or
Yeah.
something, and so they would send my sister and I or something, and we could sit with our friends or whatever. But and I would try to find all the change I could in the house, and then I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Good, I'll show you." And I was able to get popcorn and I don't know why Jolly Ranchers or like I
Oh,
don't know, the stick or
Jolly
something, the cinnamon,
Ranchers.
right? Those little that stick. I don't know why as a kid I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And now I'm like, oh my God. But there was like I was like, and I'm sure it was like $2 or $3. Like even popcorn back then was probably like $1, but I was like, oh, I got the change. I got the money. I'll find a way. I'll be talking about, women that, females finding their way or like
Yeah.
finding a way to make things happen. I was like, I'll find a way. I'll go. I went through the house and found all the spare change. And I was like, I would tell my sister, I was like, I got it. I got that. I got the money.
Well, I have to admit, growing up in a movie theater, you pretty much can, particularly if you sneak things without. First of all, we were basically kids who asked permission, but sometimes we didn't ask permission. But when you can eat all the popcorn you can drink and
Oh,
eat, and drink all the Coca-Cola products that you
wow.
can drink, and then there's all the candy bars, so many candy bars, regular size, because they didn't have movie
Wow.
size yet. This was like the 1970s. There comes a point pretty quickly where you're like, I don't want candy or pop or popcorn anymore. And I went years without eating in movie theaters because I was like, no, I can't even stomach the idea of popcorn.
Saved so much money. You saved
Yeah.
so much money. I don't even know. Thank God. I maybe get a coffee. I got a coffee because a lot of the theaters are like, you can't bring outside coffee in. So I got like a smaller, well, let's see, like that size, like a $5 coffee at AMC over the weekend. Because I was just like, to keep me nice and toasty because it was raining out and stuff. But I go, I just want coffee and my movie. But I don't even look at the candy prices or, I don't even know what candy I would get. Maybe Milk Duds, and then I'd have my mouth would be stuck the whole time or
Right, and teeth.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and stuff in my teeth and whatnot. But I was just like, thank goodness, or maybe I'd get like, oh my God, not peppermint patties. What's this? What's the mint ones? It's the little green
Oh,
one.
Junior Mints,
Junior mints, because that's kind of
but
nice if you're
also
sitting
peppermint
next.
patties.
Yes, but if you're sitting next to somebody, especially if you want to make out, I didn't want to make out with Karen
No.
and Kathy, but but I was just like, then you have fresh, you kind of do two. It's satisfying. It's nice chocolate and satisfying, but it's also two for one. Then you get a fresh breath too. So,
I'm all about romance and love, and I write romance novels, but when I'm in the movie theater, like I do not want to be doing something where I can't watch the movie.
back in the day, they would always say that, go, oh, you're going to go make out, at the movies. But I was just like, well, it's a horrible movie. And then if it is a horrible movie, why would I stay in those? Back in the day, those were uncomfortable seats. Now they
So
actually are.
uncomfortable.
But
Yeah.
unless you're I do like to sit at the very top. If I can, I'm like the very, very end. But then I'm like, okay, no, that's like not so romantic. I don't think that's romantic, if
Yeah.
people are around. But sometimes, sadly, sometimes here you have the whole theater to yourself. So
Yeah, sometimes here too. Yeah.
yeah.
But remember when so we would go to the movies with all of our friends after church or whatever night, I don't
Oh
even remember.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
we would choose which theater, which movie, and we would only go to the ArcLight if everybody had like a lot more money to spend because the per
Yeah.
ticket price was so much more.
Yeah.
All the movie theaters here that I've been to so far are all like the ArcLight in as much as you're buying the this particular seat, seat 137 or
Uh-huh.
whatever. If you go in with six people, you've already bought, your six people in a row spot. You don't have to go looking for, oh, are there six, but no, there's only five chairs there. There's
Oh,
four chairs. Remember?
yes.
We
Oh
used
my
to have to
gosh,
be
you're
like,
right.
it was such a pain in the butt.
It really was, to be honest with you, that would be kind of stressful because it would just be
Yeah.
kind of like, well, I want to sit by myself
Yeah.
or
Or you
something,
had to save a row. Like you'd get two or three people, put all of your coats down and
yes.
yeah,
And then save the row. And
yeah,
oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
so
And
true.
then
Like
people
now
move
it's kind of
out.
like, that's a smart thing. It's funny because these days, what we used to pay for the ArcLight, which I love, like ArcLight, I felt was like for true movie connoisseurs and things like that.
It's
Um,
nice.
but it was nice. And now we're just paying that for any movie that you go to or any movie theater that we go to.
Right. Okay.
But at least we can reserve the spot. So
Yeah.
that's good.
But you have to come visit me. There's two movie theaters that we should go to. One of them is in a mall called Mobilia, and
Oh,
that one has like lazy boy recliners, sort of,
oh my
every
God.
single seat. So you have the buttons on the
Oh
side,
yeah.
like with a
Okay.
recliner. So
Yeah.
you can lean back, you can put your feet up, you can put your feet
Yeah.
halfway up, and it's
Yeah.
like this is awesome. And then like before we were even done with trailers, I was like, I have to sit more upright. I'm totally gonna fall asleep. It's dark and super comfortable.
Yes. So we have those two now. We have AMC in
Oh,
Santa Monica switched, and now we went to AMC in Santa Monica. We went to the AMC in Marina Del Rey, and the same thing. And they even have dine in Marina Del Rey. They have where
yes.
you even have a tray in front of you. And you're paying extra, I think. I think those tickets were almost $20. I didn't dine in, but
Yeah.
we're still paying for it. And they'll bring food to your seat, or I think whatever. I don't know if you can bring food. I can't remember. I didn't partake of that, but it's still like I agree with you though. My Kathy was all the way back, and I even had coffee, and I was back, and then I'm sure you're like this because as the thing starts going out, my feet start going out, and I'm going back, and I'm like trying to push the button, going like, nope, nope, I'm going back too far now, and I'm like, oh my God, stop, stop, stop. So then trying to figure out that button, man, I'm
Yeah.
like, but I have to. Kieran sat up straighter, and I was like, I need to do that too. I'm going to get too relaxed, and all of a sudden I'm going to just get so like sleepy. And it's fine if
Yeah.
that's what you want to do, but
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean everybody's different, but um I'm definitely a person who my circadian rhythm is running at when it's dark, I will fall asleep, and if it's light, I won't. So if the movie theater wasn't as dark, I wouldn't fall asleep. Or if there's a lot of bright light coming from the movie itself. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so in the wintertime, so it's wintertime here. I already told you what the sunrise and sunset times
Oh,
were. I sleep a lot more in the wintertime here, but in the summertime, I sleep way less because
yeah.
it's sunny all the time.
Oh my gosh. We've had rain for almost like the last 2 weeks here in Los Angeles. And
Oh,
so it's been like movie weather. It's like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's getting darker out later. So it's like maybe like 5:15, a little after 5:15, the sun goes down and stuff. But
yeah.
still, it's like I'm the same as you. I'm like, it feels like, okay, it feels like it's 8 o'clock at night already, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, I'm the same as you. But
Okay, so I think that we should also say, everybody who's watching, put in the comments what's the new favorite movie or TV show that you've been watching that you're feeling blown away and you need everybody to know this is super good. So I've mentioned The Pit.
yes,
Jill, you mentioned All Her Fault
all her
and
fault.
The Housemaid.
Yes, and the housemaid.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've started a series. I've only watched one episode and I can't remember what it is, so we'll talk about it next time. I've started a series that's yet another series about the oxycodone um
Oh,
disaster. And I can tell that the writers like are really anti, what's the name of the family? Starts with an S.
oh,
Owns
oh,
Purdue.
yeah, because it's
Statler?
the pharmaceutical company. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's Purdue Pharmaceutical or Purdue, I don't know if it's pharmaceuticals. Anyway, it's Purdue that makes the oxy products that,
Oh,
became this huge disaster here. And their last
oh,
name starts with an S and it's like Statler or something like that. Anyway,
ah,
the
you're right.
writers clearly, I was going to say despise, dislike these characters. You can tell immediately because they portray the characters terribly. Because I'm sorry, but I am also of the opinion horrible people. Whoever you are, those people and lots of other people. If you think that getting rich and at other people's expense is a good idea, you are not my friend, and I do not think you're a good person. So I'm just saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I have been enjoying watching the episode or two so far. It's like 8 episodes. I don't know what it is. I'll tell you later what it is. But
Is it dope sick? Is it
no, but
dope
I
sick?
watched
Oh,
that, and
okay.
that is brilliant.
Really? Okay, I have
Yeah.
not
So
watched it.
so this is
Again, it's
apparently just another take, maybe a different perspective. I don't know because I've only watched one episode. Like I don't know
okay.
how it's different from Dope Sick, but it's the same kind of story, same
Wow.
people.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to check that out as well. I will
Yeah.
have to check that out.
And
Wow.
I don't know. It's probably on Netflix because I spend most of my time, looking for what's new on Netflix because that's what we
Well,
mostly
it is,
use.
it's interesting because here in America, I don't know if it's the same with you, with the streaming, like I have Hulu, but now I think between Hulu and Prime, now I've got ads popping up because if I pay for ad free, that's going to be like, I think that's going to
It's
run me $29 a month. And I go, no. So for
extra.
$19 a month, I still get ads, so it's basically watching cable TV.
I hate it.
Netflix does not have the ads, so I'm like now I'm more prone to. I started watching like Ripple, like there's a show on there called Ripple, and then I was actually watching The Big C. It was on Showtime years ago with Laura
I
Linney.
saw it came up on one of
Mhm.
the channels, but I don't know. Is it good?
I think it's new on Netflix. It's quote unquote new on Netflix, but it was done on Showtime in
Oh,
2012, 2010, 2012.
mhm.
And it's interesting because now as I get older, so when it came on, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting and stuff. Well, sadly, it's called The Big C, about
Yeah,
cancer. So I've had friends that have had cancer, and sadly, I've had a friend that passed away from cancer.
yeah,
Watching that show it's just so different now to watch it now. Like it was
yeah,
just there were parts of it where I was like, okay, I get it, I understand that. And it's still she's very funny in it, and her reaction when she's diagnosed with cancer at first is so like this is like just so people don't think like it's going to be really sad. It's actually interesting the take that they have on it where she goes to dinner with her husband, he doesn't know, and but she's unhappy with her husband at the time, and then she's just like the waitress comes and she's like, what would you like? And she's like, I I would like another, like whatever her cocktail was. And she goes, yep, that's right. I'm going to have that. And I'm going to order and just bring over every dessert you have. Yep, that's right. For dinner, I'm going to have cocktails and dessert. Because I'm
That's
sure in her mind, she's like, what the hell? I'm going to die anyways very soon. So
right.
she goes and lives her life, kind of like, well, I'm going to die. So I'm going to go do this. And I go,
Yeah.
I kind of understand that, and it was on for, I think, 3 seasons. I think it was 3 seasons because I pretty much went through it pretty quickly, but I go, it's a really good show. It really, really is. And it's on Netflix
Okay.
and thank God there's no ads. There's no ads.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and you can't fast forward through that stuff. Like on
Yeah.
Hulu, you have to sit there where, if I record something off of my cable, I still have cable, I can at
Yeah.
least say fast forward through that stuff. But I go, now, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't mind because there's not so many ads, but I go, What's the point then? Why am I paying
Yeah.
all that money and I still have ads coming through?"
Exactly. Oh my gosh, it really pisses me off. I'm like, okay, anyway, you've already covered it. I'm not going to go over it again, but yes, to all the things that you said really pisses me off. Um, and because we've grown up with TV shows with commercial breaks, like it doesn't make me as mad if I'm watching a TV series on
Yeah.
Amazon, but
Yeah.
I'm watching a movie and like
Yes.
the monster comes out, roar, something, and then they cut to they'll cut, they don't do it in the middle of a scene, but they'll find a cut and then put a commercial there, and the commercial will be anywhere from like 20 seconds to 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and you're just waiting, and you're like, I just get so angry. I don't even think it's menopause anger. I think it's
No.
you are pissing me off. And every time Amazon Sweden offers me 30 days free, I tell John, okay, you know what? Let's just take the 30 days free. We'll watch all the stuff that we really, really wanted to see. But
Yeah.
I am not giving them money to make
Yeah.
me watch commercials.
No, that
No.
just it pisses me off. And
Yeah.
sometimes I have to admit, and I'll be watching stuff and I'm paying attention, but maybe I'm kind of glancing at my phone and kind of looking at Facebook too. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what what part of this is in the show? What's happening
Yes.
in the movie? And it's a stupid commercial because I'm like, who
Yeah.
are these characters? Like I don't even, I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God. And then I'm just like, ah,
That
it's
happened to me.
crazy.
Yeah, our living room, kitchen area is, one big room, like a great room, what they say in the US, but it's not that big here. But so I'll like be on the couch and I'll walk the 10 steps to go get refill my water glass. And then
Yeah.
while the glass is filling them, I have to look at the TV. I'm like, what in the heck happened when I turned my back for 5 seconds? And because I didn't realize a commercial had come on.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And then it infuriates me because I'm like, wow, I am still paying for this. And yet I'm paying to see an ad. It
Yeah,
makes me, oh my God. And I just feel like we're storytellers. And so that is not how these shows and how
not,
these movies were meant to be
yeah,
seen this way.
yes,
So that
yeah.
that does infuriate me. And I hope one day maybe they can figure something out. But stop. They're raising the prices and they're adding more ads.
That's
So
the
stop
thing.
doing that, you
Yeah,
know?
they're doing both. I mean, yes, I
Yeah.
pay more for Netflix, but I don't have to worry about Netflix also adding ads. There are a
Yeah.
couple levels of things. Like there's a cheaper level of Netflix where you can only watch it on like two devices, like your phone and your computer, or your phone and your TV, or whatever. You can't watch it on your phone,
Oh,
your TV, and your computer, or whatever. Like I'm fine. That's fine. I
that
make my
I'm fine
choice.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I oh, I'm gonna try to stop talking about it because I really get pissed off about it. Like I
Me
already paid you
too.
money, and there's a button at the bottom, and at first, the first time John tried to like fast forward past it, so
Yeah.
when he hits the button on, we watch it through the PlayStation console. When
Hmm.
he tried to hit the button, it basically lit up it's like it selected the little button at the bottom of the screen that says go ad free. So then it stopped
Oh,
everything and gave us the opportunity to pay more to not have to watch any more commercials. And then bad words came out of my mouth, and I was just like, stupid Amazon, I hate you so much.
And then
Oh,
because sometimes and again, we've talked about before, I can be a little bit clueless with things. Sometimes I'll be like, in trying to get off of that, sometimes I'll accidentally hit the other thing where
yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, you can subscribe or whatever. I'm like, no, 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 like my thumb and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's like maybe that's why my thumb's been a little numb lately, and I'm like, it might be the remote. It might be me using the remote, going like, get off this, get off
Yeah.
this. It's like, oh my God. It's like, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to counter that. That I know it's first world problems, but still, it's just when you think
Yeah.
about all the money that you're spending, and then sometimes I'm like, I'm going to cancel my subscriptions, but I do love it. I love stories. I love watching. You're a big reader. I will admit, I'm more of a because when this happens, I'm like, I'm going to show them. I'm just going to read a book. I'll just sit here and read a book. And the problem when I read books, though, is like you were saying earlier today, you were sitting reading a book. I'll probably get to page 5 and my head will bob. It's like being back in school again and stuff in college. And I'm just like, that's why when I watch a TV show, I don't know, I'm more engaged and it's more
Yeah.
relaxing to me. I don't know. There's just something about it. I like the
Yeah.
visual. I like the whole thing about it is just
Yeah.
really, really good. But yeah, I do threaten to like, I'll just read a book, but I
Yeah.
think like the silence part of it, the silence part for me is just I like having like, things beamed into my living room
Yeah.
and just go, oh, okay. I felt like I was a
Yeah.
bit a part of whatever just happened there, even if it's kind of, oh my God, like
Yeah.
there will be times like when you watch All Her Fault, be prepared for like the last 3 episodes, you're going to be like, oh my God. Like, yeah, it will be like, be prepared for like, and I do this all the time and I shouldn't. I stayed up till like, I think 1 or 1:30 one morning. I was like, no, and then you have to treat yourself like a child. I will be like, you're going to bed. You have to go to bed right now. You can watch and keep it for tomorrow night. Like that's going to be your treat for tomorrow
Yeah.
night. You know what you're going to watch, blah, blah, blah. But then
Yeah.
to me, that's such a test of such a good show. Such
Yeah.
a good, good show. It's like when you're
Yeah.
excited because the regular TV on cable or, whatever on regular TV, I call that point where certain shows where I'm just like, if I don't see it, yeah, that doesn't matter. Like I
Yeah.
could take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. I mean, I record it and stuff, but again, you can always watch it on Hulu the next day anyways. So it's
Yeah.
not like, oh my God, I must watch that. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Okay, so everybody needs to tell us what your
yeah,
recent find is, or your favorite, or whatever, and also where to watch it, so that if we can, also
yeah,
watch it.
yeah,
But Jill has to go to a meeting in 9 minutes, so for
yeah,
the next 8 minutes,
you.
we will quickly try to tell each other, what do you think that you want to do with 2026? Like, do you have any goals? For me, for instance, my two main goals are work on my physical and mental health. So I'm reading tons of books on menopause and watching videos in different places from different doctors and stuff. And I am um, also, because I just love neuroscience, so I'm reading and listening to and whatever I can find on neuroscience stuff that's going to help me with my brain, make my brain work better and more and whatever. So that's my one big goal. And my other
Oh,
one is more writing and publishing in 2026,
oh, I like
for
those
both
goals.
my fiction and my nonfiction. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what do you think 2026 you're hoping for?
Mine sound the same, pretty similar to yours. Mine
Yeah.
really do. It's just to work on my physical well-being, and work out more and just try to be healthier, try to eat better, probably, which means less butter, less, less French fries, you name it. Like just try to be healthier with that. I just saw my doctor last week and everything's fine, but still, it's just like, there's just certain things where you're just like, why, I'll be like, why is that cholesterol? What do you mean that gets a little bit higher? And well, she's like, then, just stay away from trans fats. I was like, what are trans fats? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
she had to explain. She was like, well, the French fries, the lard, the butter. And I was like, oh, that's like staples for Midwestern, Midwestern people. So I was like, no, I get it. I get it. And then it's just like more vegetables, fruits, things like that. So I was like, now I'm trying to read labels because she's like, well, look at the labels. How much trans fats is in that? And so I'm like, okay. So slow steps with that. So I'm going to do
Yeah.
that. And then same with you. I would like to, physical. I want to work out more. I have a row machine. I do like the row machine. You get a pretty good
Oh,
workout with that. And they don't
yeah.
at the gym. I use the elliptical and very few people use the row machine. So it's great for me. I'm like, great, I get to get on the row machine. To me, it's almost like meditation. Like I enjoy it, and I feel
Yeah.
like, and then I can feel it. Like did it on Friday, and Saturday I woke up and I was like, why do my shoulders hurt? Why does this hurt? And I was like, what did I do? And I'm like, you worked out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
surprise, you worked out. And it's like, oh my God. So I could feel it. So I actually ordered a row machine, just a basic one that is pretty compact that I can have at my home. So that's my plan later today. I have to put that together. That they say it's
Oh,
pretty easy, but when they show a
yeah.
video online, but I am just one of those people. I'm like IKEA furniture, things like that. I'm like, oh my God, that is very stressful. That is like, oh my God, but it's a challenge I told myself I'm going to take. And then I think the other thing I want to work on getting my writing out there because we are storytellers, and I think getting our stories out there as well, and just
Yeah.
sharing our stories and stuff, and just hopefully in some cases just making somebody brightening their day. Hopefully it's happy stuff, or if it is dramatic stuff too, because I know there's certain things, like I said, like there's things I'm like, I don't know if I can read that, or I don't know if I can watch that. But I think some people also do really enjoy a good story. So
Yeah.
like, the things we mentioned, the Pit and All Her Fault, and the Housemaid, they're just really good stories. So it's like
Yeah.
just to tell a good story. And then fingers crossed, everybody's going through this. It's just like I want to kind of like, work on reducing how did I say this to myself? I said it the other day. It's just like, get kind of get out of debt, basically, like get I need to go on a debt diet, and I need to go on like a weight diet too, I guess. They're like, just gonna shed the pounds and shed the debt, like that.
I
Shed the
like
pounds,
it.
shed the debt, that type of thing, where it's just kind of like, because I work in game shows, so I kind of like try to make it a game too, where it's like, okay, here's my challenge for the day, for
Yeah.
how much money can I save, and how much can I maybe like how well can I eat today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't have it.
Because sadly, those delicious potato chips cost more than the delicious broccoli, or cost
It,
less. So
yes,
yeah, I got into a
yes.
terrible habit of just being like, well, this is I like this and it's cheaper, so it'll be fine. And now I'm like, yeah, no, I can't buy the cheaper potato chips. I need to buy the better broccoli.
Isn't that the truth? Like, I don't know if you were with me, but Mike and Annie and Dwight, I think you guys had moved already. We were helping at a mission in downtown LA. And we were helping out. We were babysitting, playing with the kids and stuff like that. And the mothers were taking showers, and it was a homeless shelter. Mothers were getting clothes and things like that. And so we are going to serve them food. And so it was like pizza, tater tots, things like that, everything in the oven. But one of the women there said, she goes, it's a shame though, like this stuff is not healthy. This is
Yeah,
not healthy food. It's cheaper food. So it's great. You can feed a lot of people, but it's not healthy food. So
yeah,
kind of working on, like, I'm just kind of like, I'm not gonna be crazy about it. You know how sometimes you go, and I just watched When Harry Met Sally on the night on New Year's Day. That's my tradition now. It's like either on New Year's Eve or New Year's night, I'm gonna watch When Harry Met Sally. I'm not gonna be super picky like Sally, but at the same time, when you sit down and you're looking, planning your meals or looking at food, it's just like, okay, what's really in this? So kind
yeah,
of figuring
yeah.
that out. So that's, yeah.
Well, this is cool. We can encourage each other because we have almost the same goals for the year.
We do. We do. I like
Health
that.
and writing and publishing.
Yes, health and writing and publishing. And I bet a lot of people out there, again, maybe people can share in the comments too
Oh
what their
yeah.
goals are, because I think it kind of helps if you put it out there. There was the other thing I saw on a
Yes.
morning show that she was like, manifest it. That was actually I'd never really heard of this, or maybe I just didn't pay attention. The woman said, start manifesting what you want to see in your life. And so she said, like, she loved going for walks in New York, and, wanted somebody, like literally envisioned somebody holding her hand, and she was single at the time, and she said, now 20 years later, that's the thing I love to do with my husband, is hold his hand and walk through New York. Robin Roberts was the one that she was the interviewer. She was the newscaster that was interviewing her, and she said, she said, before I met her wife, she was like, she would always be like the fifth wheel. I know what that feels like. And she'd be
Yeah.
with a couple, say I'm like with John and Kitty, she would be with a couple, and they would actually have a fourth setting, and I forget what they called it, to be something like to be determined or something, to be determined for her future partner. And she's
Oh
like, they would
wow.
do that. So they were kind of like, I'm not saying exactly how she said it, but basically that's
Yeah.
the essence of it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I think we have to start envisioning our books being out there and being published and, becoming TV shows or films and things like that. We have to
Yeah, yeah.
envision that. Manifest. Well, I have another friend that she calls it Woman Fest. She's like, why is it manifest? My friend Beverly, she always says, no, no, no. She's like, and she's beautiful. She's like, you say Woman Fest. We're women. We're going to Woman Fest this.
Oh man. Well, I can't believe we're having such a short show for you and me, but you have a meeting.
I do
So,
have a meeting.
you want to
Yeah.
just tell everybody goodbye from us?
Yes, we hope you've enjoyed. This is our podcast number 4, I think, right? Our podcast number 4. We hope you guys have enjoyed your time with us, and we have lots more to gab about, more gabbing with stories and with Kitty and Jill to come. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.